flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Aaron, could you please call the roll, and just a reminder to everyone, we have to announce the city we're Zooming from.
Commissioner Bartis?
Present, Berkeley, Michigan.
Commissioner Dolan? You're muted.
Sorry about that. Present, Berkeley, Michigan.
Commissioner Kempner?
Present, Berkeley, Michigan.
Commissioner Patterson?
Present, Berkeley, Michigan.
Commissioner Richardson?
Present, Berkeley, Michigan.
Vice Chair Smith?
Muted.
You're muted, Marty.
Is that better? Present, Michigan, or present, Berkeley, Michigan.
Commissioner Stern?
Present, Berkeley, Michigan.
Commissioner Trotto? Chair Kaplansky?
Present, Berkeley, Michigan. Okay, and that brings us to the agenda. Does anyone have any modifications or changes or motions to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Aaron, could you call the roll on that?
Dolan?
Yes.
Kempner?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Stern?
Yes.
Bartis?
Yes.
Kaplansky?
Yes. All right, next up we have the minutes, two sets of minutes, one from December 15th, 2020. Any changes on those meeting minutes from December 15th? Do these have to be two separate motions, Aaron?
Yes, two separate motions.
So any changes for the 15th of December or motions to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes of December 15th.
Support.
Aaron, could you call the roll?
Kempner?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Stern?
Yes.
Bartis?
Yes.
Dolan?
Yes.
Kaplansky?
Yes. So we also have the minutes from January 5th, 2021, our master plan study session. Any changes on those minutes? Or motions to approve?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Aaron, could you call the roll on that, please?
Patterson?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Stern?
Yes.
Bartis?
Yes.
Dolan?
Yes.
Kempner?
Yes.
Kaplansky?
Yes. All right, next up we have citizen comment. If any members of the public wish to speak during the appropriate agenda item, we would ask that you use the raise your hand feature or dial *9 if you've called in. Comments can also be submitted to planning@berkeleymish.net. Just a reminder that the Planning Commission will not engage you in any discussion. We ask you to state your name and address and keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Do we have anyone on the call or have we received any emails regarding any matters not on the agenda this evening?
No, we have not.
Okay, then I will close citizen comment, and that will take us to our first agenda item for action, and that is a public hearing and consideration of a text amendment to address projections. Aaron, did you have a staff report?
Yes. So I'd like to reference my review letter that was included in your packet for this item. So this is an item that we've been discussing at length for a couple of months now. So, as I mentioned before, a previous building official has made an interpretation that chimneys were not included to be included as part of the projection discussion. So part of our ongoing discussion here with the Planning Commission was to determine if chimneys and other, masonry chimneys and box chimneys were to be included as part of the projection and to be included in the 30% maximum for projection into a side yard setback. So after a considerable discussion, I have the ordinance language here for you. And really all it did, it didn't change the formula or how far things are set back. It just provided a little bit of clarity about productions without foundations and with foundations, so as to provide developers, residents, an idea of what is to be included and what's not to be included. So the public hearing was set for this meeting based on the discussion we had at the December 15th meeting. It was noticed in the newspaper. We also sent the agenda out to, blasted out to a number of our contractors that regularly do business here in the community, especially those with the new residential build. I have not heard any inquiries or any questions or comments about that from them, but they are aware that tonight is a public hearing, and then if the Planning Commission determines to recommend it to council, the council will have the final authority to adopt the ordinance. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. So this is a public hearing. I want to go ahead and collect those comments now. Do we have anyone? I know you said we hadn't received any emails, but do we have anyone on the Zoom right now who would like to participate? No?
We do not have anybody.
Okay, then I will go ahead and close the public hearing and move on to commissioner comments. I know we've spent a lot of time discussing this in the next text amendment, but does anyone have anything further they want to discuss or add? If not, I will entertain motions to recommend this to council.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
with respect to item number TO0121, I move that we recommend approval of the proposed or draft ordinance amendment language to City Council, and as reflected in the meeting package for this evening. That's an amendment to section 138, 192 of the zoning ordinance.
Support.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. So in accordance with our usual Zoom procedures, I will go and ask everyone if they have any additional comments. Commissioner Kempner?
No additional comments.
Commissioner Smith?
No comment.
Commissioner Bartis?
No additional comments.
Commissioner Patterson?
No comments.
Commissioner Richardson?
No comments?
Julie?
No comments.
Shiloh?
No comments.
And I don't have anything additional either. So Aaron, could you call the roll?
Richardson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Stern,
Yes.
Bartis,
Yes.
Dahlen,
Yes.
Kempner,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Kapelansky.
Yes. Okay, and our next item is a text amendment addressing exterior appliances. Aaron, did you want to do the staff report?
Yep. So this is the second item that we have been discussing over the last couple of months related to exterior appliances. I have included the draft language for you. There were a couple of things that we have after our last meeting and have provided a little bit more clarity. So after consultation also with the city attorney, we made some slight modifications to the definitions just in case that there were power generator versus emergency generator, just to give it a little bit more breadth of use, and something in terms of a mechanical or electrical power. That was something that he noted as needing a little bit more clarification just on that front. None of the changes or anything that he suggested made any substantive changes from what we've discussed. There were a couple of minor things there, and also I did some, per the discussion of the Planning Commission, did some cleaning up on the non-conforming exterior appliances section. There was some concern about the structure portion of the ordinance as it was written previously. That was my error. So clean that up to specify that if the structure that is served by the non-conforming exterior appliances is damaged. So not the exterior appliance itself being non-conforming, but the structure to which it's servicing is damaged by a fire or a tornado or whatever natural disaster may come of it. If that's damaged, either partly or destroyed less than 50%, the exterior appliance may be restored where it is. But if it's more than 50% and the house needs to be completely rebuilt, then it will be rebuilt in conformity with the current zoning ordinances. So based on those discussions from last month, we have set the public hearing for this evening. Again, this was sent, the agenda and the items were sent to the contractors that regularly service the community, just so that they were aware of what's happening. But again, I have not received any communications from them for this evening. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, this is a public hearing, so I will open the public hearing. Do we have anyone on Zoom or on the phone who would like to chime in on this one? No?
We do not currently have anybody on Zoom.
Thank you, Dan. So I will close the public hearing on this item and turn it over to the Planning Commission. Does anyone have any questions or concerns about the draft language as it stands, or motions to recommend approval?
If I may, I just wanted to add, I think that the updated language about the structure versus the unit itself captures exactly what we were talking about. So I appreciate seeing that in there. I think it really spells it out nicely for us. So thank you for capturing what we were trying to do for the last, I don't know, 7 years. So thank you, Aaron.
Anyone interested in recommending approval of this one?
Ms. Chairman?
Yes,
Ms.
Commissioner
Marty?
Smith.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to recommend item TO-02-21 exterior appliances, modifications to section 138.71 and then 72, 73 and on. Like to recommend that we pass it on to City Council for their review and hopefully approval. And I will not miss talking about this.
Me neither.
Is that a second?
Yeah, support.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Commissioner Kempner, any additional comments?
No.
Commissioner Smith?
No.
Commissioner Bartis?
No.
Commissioner Patterson?
Nothing.
Commissioner Dolan?
Nope.
Commissioner Richardson?
No.
Commissioner Stern?
Nope.
And nothing further from me either. Aaron, could you please call the roll?
Smith?
Is that me?
Smith, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Stern?
Yes.
Bartis?
Yes.
Dolan?
Yes.
Kempner?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Richardson?
Yes.
Kapelansky?
Yes. Okay.
Both of these will be on the February 1st agenda for City Council.
Thank you. So that moves us on to the Planning Commission work plan. Erin, do you want to go over that?
Yeah, so yearly, usually by the July meeting, the end of the fiscal year, an annual report is provided to the Planning Commission and City Council in compliance with the Michigan Planning Enabling Act, which gives an annual report of all the planning activities that have been done during that previous year for rezoning, site plans, land development, all of that. As we begin 2021, and you know, the city of Berkeley is on the fiscal calendar. So, but as we begin this calendar year, I thought it would be a good idea to look at how we want to move forward with the fiscal year goals that we had discussed and had focused on last year, and how we want to move forward with the calendar year. So I've included the 2020 work plan that was provided to you back in May. And these are still things that we're going to be working on. So, you know, these are not done by any means. Update the community master plan. As you know, we're holding master plan work sessions. We'll be holding a community event. We're still looking for this to be adopted spring, summer 2021. So we're nearing the end of that process, but we still have a lot more to go. Redevelopment ready community certification. This is something that's been in the works, and a big portion of that certification is the master plan and the subsequent technical review of our zoning ordinance to make sure that they align appropriately. So those are the two big items that need to be completed for the certification. But there are other items that we've been working on administratively behind the scenes. You know, updating all of our permit applications, creating flow charts for businesses and development. Those are things that we've been doing back on our end that the Planning Commission doesn't really need to get involved in, but something that is critical to the certification for redevelopment ready. And the third is updating the zoning ordinance. Now that's going to be something that will be done after the master plan is completed to make sure that there aren't any inconsistencies, any holes that need to be addressed. That will be a enormous undertaking, typically with something that hasn't been fully or comprehensively looked at in so many years. We've budgeted for a consulting firm to help us with that, so that way we're not, you know, picking things apart and doing little things in piecemeal, but we're looking at things in a comprehensive, holistic way. And with that being said, so we're going to continue to work on the 2020 plan, but we'd also like to incorporate some goals for the overall calendar year of 2021. So below I have two items. The sign ordinance, that's something that it's not located in the zoning ordinance, but it's something that we'll be looking at with City Council, and we would want Planning Commission's input because that's also something that that you would be looking at with site plans and such. The DDA guidelines and overlay district. Now that's something that has come before you in years past, and we will be discussing that again now that we have a DDA executive director who's ready to take on that project. We've already started having some of these discussions internally and hope to have that start to have input by the Planning Commission to move forward early this spring. So those are just two of the things that we're looking at to work on for this calendar year and for the last 6 months of the fiscal year of 2020. So just while we have this halfway point, I just thought it was a good idea to kind of go through the things that we had talked about in the 2020 work plan, but also start to plan for the 2021. So if you have any ideas, if you want to talk about, if you want to send them to me via email, we can do that too. Be happy to answer any questions you have.
Hey, thanks, Erin. Just from my perspective, this looks like a great plan as far as our priorities and what we really need to focus on and work on for the upcoming year. Does anyone have anything to add? Questions, comments?
I do think I have one question. We keep talking about our parking and having to look and see if where our parking is appropriate and where it isn't. Is that falling somewhere on this? Is that something we're looking at doing further on down the road? Yeah,
parking would be part of the technical ordinance review and adoption. So when we look at going through our entire ordinance, that'll be something that we look at, and that's why something like that would take a considerable amount of time.
Any other comments?
My comment is that I think the ball is rolling in the right direction. You know, we have challenges here that I didn't hear mentioned, but I think are probably kind of bound up in some of the projects that have been mentioned. I've been thinking a lot lately about the business vacancy rate in town, which seems just on an eyeball level to be increasing. It would behoove us, I think, to actually dig into that a little bit, see if it really is increasing, see if there's a strategy that you know, might help with that. I perceive it to be a problem. Maybe others don't think it's a problem, but you know, we have to work with DDA, I think, on you know, always work with them on making our community a business-friendly community, small business-friendly community. So I would hope that issue be confronted as we move forward with these planning efforts.
Anyone else? Okay, Aaron, so we'll just keep us updated. We will just look at things as they come forward on our various agendas and hopefully take a good chunk out of this in the coming year. Thanks.
Thank you.
So that brings us to liaison reports. Does anyone have anything to report?
From environmental, we did meet last week. We are proceeding with our planning for a community garden. We're still hopeful of having a community garden this year. Our involvement would be to kind of coordinate the city end of developing that. We would not be supplying volunteers or running the garden, but just helping to get it off the ground. That's our focus, and so that's proceeding. And we may have a special meeting of the environmental committee in February to try to nail that down, depending on the response we get from the partners that we're working with. We also had last week we had a workshop sponsored by or coordinated by the EcoWorks consulting organization, which helped us create the Berkeley Energy Efficiency Plan. And that workshop was about developing a revolving fund to actually finance some energy efficiency related projects, perhaps some capital improvements that would result in energy efficiency. The workshop was conducted on a very, I guess, preliminary level or theoretical level. The idea was just to sound out community members on, you know, what they thought a revolving energy fund plan or the rules that would pertain to it should consist of. So we talked about things like, you know, what's the minimum seed money? What are the initial projects we'd like to finance it with? Where's that seed money coming from? Didn't come up with any answers in that workshop, but just I think it was just to kind of gauge the attitudes of some of the stakeholders in the community toward developing a fund. Times are tight, and we need to be creative if we're going to proceed with energy efficient, climate friendly projects. So I'm looking forward to receiving the summary of that workshop and sharing it with the my committee and also the Planning Commission as appropriate.
Great, thanks, Mark. Anyone else?
I think if every-
Sorry,
ahead.
I was not able to go to the chamber meeting again this week. Last month, I was stuck in a work meeting, so I do not have anything to report.
Okay, thanks, Julie. Lisa, did you have something?
Just steering committee, we did meet, we started talking about the presentations, and very briefly kind of touched on survey questions. And I think they kind of went back and they had some slides for us to look at, and I think we kind of like pared them down. So we were talking about the meat of the issue instead of a whole lot of like extraneous information. So I'm sure that's still a work in progress, and I'm imagining we'll see it at a work session before a steering committee sees it again, but they're working on it.
Great, thanks. Okay, so that brings us to commissioner and staff comments. Does anyone have anything to add? Yes, Aaron.
I just wanted to remind everyone, I sent a couple emails about this, but tomorrow morning, SEMCOG is having a webinar about planning for electric vehicles. So if anyone's interested, let me know. I can still get you signed up. And certainly if there's any other training opportunities, I've been passing some of those along. So just make sure to keep an eye out for those in your email when those come around and if your schedule allows.
Thanks. Any other commissioner comments?
Are we on schedule to have a work session next Tuesday?
Yes, we are.
Good, okay.
Yeah, your meeting packets, your packets for that will be coming to you probably Thursday. I'd say probably Thursday.
Okay, okay. And I just want to thank everybody for a short meeting tonight.
Yes, thank you. Okay, then any motions to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
Aaron, could you call the roll?
Smith,
Yes.
Stern,
Yes.
Bardis,
Yes.
Dahlin,
Yes.
Kempner,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Richardson,
Yes.
Kaplansky.
Yes. Okay, everyone, we will see you next week then.
Sounds
Have a good
good.
night.
Everyone, thank
Absolutely.
you.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
Good night, everyone.